National Taxpayers Union Foundation has released a new report providing analysis on what would happen if we would allow the 2017 tax cuts to be permanently expired. The expiration of President Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act will trigger widespread tax increases for about 80% of Americans, significantly impact state economies, disrupt state tax structures. Many states follow the federal tax code in some way, which would cascade changes to the state level. That's all a big problem. Furthermore, the law's expiration would reduce wages by 0.5% and reduce economic growth 1.1% over 10 years, they say. The reduction in wages and economic activity would also reduce state income, business, and sales tax collections in future years. A grim outlook if the 2017 tax cuts don't get extended or made permanent. Congress only has until next year to make this happen. Here with me to discuss this is the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Brandon, nice to see you back here. Look, there's a whole litany of problems there. Now, I think this is going to happen. One big, beautiful bill. I guess we're hearing now, it was originally going to be Memorial Day, Brandon, but I think that we're hearing now 4th of July is more likely to see this come through. Doesn't really matter. Memorial Day, 4th of July, either way, it has to have these provisions or there's real economic pain coming our way. True or false?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they need to get it done by the end of the year. If they include the debt ceiling increase, which they almost certainly will, it needs to get done by the summer. So yeah, I think we're going to see action in the House of Representatives very, very soon on this. The Senate, as always, takes a little bit longer, but hopefully both chambers can get a bill together and get it on the president's desk sometime before July 4th, because as you laid out in our paper shows, people are looking at thousands and thousands of dollars in higher taxes per family if this thing expires. We cannot allow that to happen. It's already far too expensive to live, to work, to breathe in this country, and we can't afford to raise taxes to the tune of thousands of dollars on American families right now.
Yeah, absolutely true. So let me ask you about this. Jerome Powell earlier today gave some gobbledygook answer about not lowering interest rates. Look, the inflation rate's at 2.4%. It was significantly higher when he lowered the interest rate when Joe Biden was president. Politics?
I don't know if there's politics involved. I mean, I guess it's Washington. There's always politics involved to some extent here. But, you know, the Fed is tasked with this dual mandate that sometimes run in conflict with one another. That is, keeping unemployment low while keeping prices low at the same time. And I think this is one of those instances where there's concerns on both fronts. We absolutely need an economic stimulus. I'd like to see that come from Congress and the president in the form of better tax policy and the president's deregulatory policies that he's already implementing. But at the same time, the pressure on prices is something that we all need to be concerned about. The longer this trade war continues, the more likely we are to see higher prices, which is why it's really important for Trump to reach agreements with as many countries as soon as possible so we can get the tariffs off the books, lower prices, and continue on with the other parts of his agenda.
You know, when you look at prices, I noticed today gas prices are down from a week ago, 3-4 cents, down from a month ago, a dime, down from a year ago, about 50 cents or more, depending on where you live in the country. So energy prices continue to be down. Oil went below $60 on West Texas Intermediate today. I saw that $59 a barrel. All of that's indicative of pretty good pricing for consumers going forward, but we'll need some other things to make it all a little bit more robust. I'll give you the last word, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm operating with a lot of cautious optimism here. Again, I hope that the trade war will be resolved on as many fronts as possible. But there's a lot of really good stuff happening in Congress here right now. We look at this tax bill averting thousands of dollars of tax increases. As long as we can get past some of these stumbling blocks, like these blue states, California, New York, and so forth, trying to squeeze more money out of the American taxpayer in terms of higher tax cuts for SALT for their constituents. As long as we can get past a few of these hurdles, I think we will deliver on that one big, beautiful bill and have a really good economic response as a result of that.
I guess we'll see what happens now.